Welcome to Be Quick with Mick, the world's fastest and most amazing contingent workforce interview slash game show. I'm your host, Mickey Pelletier. Here's how it works. We'll get to know our guests on a more personal level because we're more than just contingent workforce experts. We're real people. We'll wrap up with a challenge round featuring one of our contingent workforce related games. And remember, it's Be Quick with Mick. Answers need to be fast and straight to the point. Before I begin, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Rad Consultants. And from Rad Consultants, I'd like to introduce Chris Radvansky. Chris, why don't you tell us about yourself? Who are you and what would you say you do?
Hey, Mick, I am Chris Radvansky of Rad Consultants. Founded my own independent workforce analytics enterprise about a year and a half ago. And really, we are bringing better insights, data-driven recommendations to our clients within the contingent labor space, whether that is an in-house program, whether that is an MSP, even staffing suppliers, working with them as well to make sure that all the transactions, all the operations that are coming through the various systems, whether it's an ATS, a VMS, you name it, HRIS, take the data out, make it more insightful.
Certainly something we need, and we appreciate you being here. So, all right, let's get personal. Question number one. What was your favorite childhood game or toy?
Nintendo. I was a child of the 80s and I got myself a Nintendo Entertainment System back in the day. And then I just watched the movie 8-Bit Christmas. And it's all about getting that coveted Nintendo Entertainment System, the first one of its kind. So that was
Did you have,
my jam. I was a video game kid.
did you have a favorite game?
Yeah, Punch Out. Absolutely. Mike Tyson's Punch Out. You just got to take down Soda Popinski and King Hippo. Man, I can run through it right now myself. You know when to duck and move and weave.
Great game. Great game. All right, next question. If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
I want to not have to sleep. I think that I can be a lot more productive if I don't get tired, right? If you don't have to sleep, you don't get tired. And if you don't get tired, you can do a heck of a lot more things.
That's awesome. I've never thought of that as a superpower. I really like that one. All right, next question. What's your dream job if money wasn't a factor?
I really like working with kids in a way. I love coaching. I coach both my daughters in soccer and basketball. I'm also good friends with the principal of the school that my daughters go to. So not that money isn't a major thing, it's just not the direction I went. But if I could be an elementary school principal, that guy seems like he's having a good time while being really, good for society.
I like those answers. All right, now it's time for us to mix it up with our book of truth. Chris, can you pick a number between 1 and 600 for a random question?
I woke up at 5:55 this morning, so let's go with that.
555 it is. What's the best way to earn another person's respect?
Honesty and vulnerability. I think vulnerability has been really big this year. It's one of those words of the year, I would say. But the thing is, if you're going to be honest and you're going to be vulnerable, the more so you want to be proud of the choices that you've made to talk about those things, right? So if you said, I'm really vulnerable and here's a list of my mortal sins and crimes against humanity, that's a rough go. You don't want to do that. So that's where I really lean towards being very intentional with all of the choices that I make, whether from a personal or business perspective. As a parent, you name it, you got to be intentional with your decisions. And that way, when you look back and you say, hey, these are the things that I did, and I'm going to tell you exactly why I did them, you have a little bit more pride, a little bit less regret. You're not going to be perfect, but in that way, I think that you can build up that trust because this is somebody that is open and honest with me, but also I like the person that they are. And
Right.
therefore, you can build that trust.
Absolutely. Got to like the person for who they are. Great answer. Good way to build some trust there. All right, Chris. Now it's time for us to move into our challenge round where you'll get to think quickly to answer some contingent workforce related questions. Here are our options of challenges. Pick one and I'll explain the rules. There's the yes no opinion gauntlet, word association, never have I ever, finish the sentence, and would you rather.
I like a gauntlet, so give me that yes no gauntlet.
I'm going to ask you questions about the contingent workforce space with yes no opinion answers. There is no right or wrong answer, but there's also no chance to explain your answer. And yes, they may be loaded questions. We'll try to get through as many as we can here in 60 seconds. And let's begin. Is technology crucial in managing successful contingent workforce programs?
Yes.
Can contingent workers be included in team building events like happy hours and holiday parties? Ooh.
No.
Do contingent workers have more flexibility in choosing their hours?
No.
In the future, will staffing agencies remain relevant as a channel for engaging contingent workers?
Yes.
Are contingent workforce programs more beneficial for large corporations than small businesses?
No.
Has remote work permanently increased the demand for contingent workers?
No.
Last one here. Can contingent workers be just as productive as full-time employees?
Yes, of course.
All right, Chris, that was a lot of fun. I want to thank you so much for joining the show today, and I want to thank all of our listeners for tuning in. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you all later. Thanks, everybody.